Let's take it around the table here. I want to start with you, Joey, because on America's Newsroom, we talked about this and what it was like for soldiers to be at an American base waiting for what might be happening. And you said that they were okay because they knew that they would be able to engage if they needed to. And now we have this result.
Yeah, it's on tape. This is exactly what I thought the immediate response would be. I still worry that there will be either proxy groups or we'll talk about later sleeper cells in this country. There'll be some other way of showing their discontent. But, you know, when President Trump says, when he puts out a statement like that, it makes you think he's got some inside information on what their intent is. I love that he said, thanks for giving us that warning. The men and women on these bases, they're football players that just saw the clock go zero for the game to start. They don't want war, but they're ready for it. That's why they're in our military. That's what Pete Hegseth has beat the war drum on ad nauseum. And so I got a text from an Army special operator that said, you know, we're hunkered down. We don't want anything to happen, but at least we know if something does, we can shoot back. And man, that's a big turn of the tide. I'll tell you that.
Indeed. Jesse, I don't think people have had the benefit of hearing from you yet since this all went down.
Well, I'm glad they didn't hear from me Saturday night because I was at a party.
Me too.
But so far, so good. These strikes in retaliation look to be telegraphed. They didn't want any American casualties. That would have triggered an overwhelming response.
Yeah.
And they have to show a little something to their own public to show that they're still in charge. So there's no American casualties. There's no escalation at this point, and there's no mission creep at this point, which is great. And now you have an Iranian regime, which is the lead sponsor of terror, without their nuclear scientists, their generals, their air defenses, or much of a nuclear program left. This is a best case scenario. When I saw it happen on Saturday night, I thought it was a righteous strike. Donald Trump gave peace a chance. But the Ayatollah gave him the middle finger, figuratively. He wanted to meet him in Turkey face to face for negotiations, and the Ayatollah said no. So this was the last resort. And it shows the effectiveness of this administration, the precision and the secrecy to be able to pull it off. But also, you know, the prestige of the U.S. military had taken a little bit of a beating after the Afghanistan withdrawal and all the trans stuff. To come out and do something like this, where they're putting a bomb on the target the size of an air conditioner, it's just an incredible feat. You're seeing our missile defense system knocking out other missiles in the middle of the sky. It's just amazing. And deterrence is back because, you know, Joe Biden, don't. And our enemies did. Barack Obama drawing the red lines. They were meaningless. And China's watching. The cartels are on notice now. And even Denmark probably won't put up much of a fight over Greenland. And even in the trade negotiations, this gives the president a little bit more leverage because it's not like we're going to drop bunker busters on Germany. But when you are willing to go to this extreme for something you believe in, the people that are at the negotiating table are going to take notice. I'm sure Lutnick is going to exploit this. There will be a damage assessment. No one knows the extent of the damage. It looks pretty devastating. You don't know if they squirreled away any enriched uranium and they're just spinning something on the fly now. Nobody knows. And no one knows, as you're right, you know, you could have a revenge attack in a year from now. Nobody knows. But so far, oil prices are down. The market was up. It's contained at this point. So well done.
All right. Harold Ford Jr., the one development today was this attack by the Iranians, which looks, as the president said, weak and might be the last one because it's similar to what they did after Soleimani, right? They had a response, but they told all the people in Iran it was an amazing response. We all know that's not true. The people inside don't. But what do you think?
Well, good to be back with everybody. What a weekend. I believe Joey is largely right, if not totally right. In one regard, our men and women are ready to go to war. They understand what the implications are. Jesse, you're right. This notion that our military somehow or another had been weakened over the last 6 months to 3 years, a lot of that was refuted. What the military did in terms of the demonstrating their capabilities, the choreography of what they did, the planning, and obviously the president himself orchestrating from all press reports an unbelievable deception within deception was nothing short of astonishing. We're now at a time we got to figure out how we de-escalate. And I think where the president his definition of de-escalation is bringing them to the table to try to ensure that they don't have nuclear weapons, that the capability has been removed. Jesse's right, this damage assessment, I'm curious to hear Joey's assessment of how he thinks we should be thinking about this and how long we should be prepared to wait to understand. In other words, we have to put human assets on the ground to understand if we got all of this or not. I guess we'll learn a lot of this in the coming days. But to Democrats, I know we have a segment on this, who are invested in the process as opposed to the results here, and who are raising issues that we didn't raise when it was a Democrat president. We've gotten to a point where Republicans raise things only when it's Democrats, and Democrats raise things when it's only Republicans. We should be happy. This was an American success. What we defined we wanted to do, the president wanted to do. Now, then I think the thing for me that is most concerning as we sit here today is, are we talking about regime change, or are we satisfied with where we are now and determining if we were able to remove this capability? And I guess over the next few weeks, we'll be able to have this conversation.
It's hard to know, Kaylee, because it's 300 feet below ground, and it's hard for us to imagine what the bunker busters are actually able to do because you can't see it.
Yeah, and from what I understand, we plan to pick up some of the post-damage assessment from signals intelligence, so we can overhear Iranian communications. We're very sophisticated, and Israel has penetrated deep within Iran, so they have assets and their informants who will give us that information. Look, Iran today tried to save face, and instead they fell on their face spectacularly. And if you had any question if Iran was a rational actor, I believe the answer to that is categorically no. You know, this all began, the posture before Fordo was hit, was President Trump saying unconditional surrender. Iran responded, we will never surrender. Okay, that's to the #1 power in the world. We are the world's hegemonic power here in the United States. So that was their answer. Then they were asked, hey, are you going to negotiate with the United States? They said no. And they said, and we will never end enrichment. We would rather have war. That is the posture of Iran. And then today, maybe it was an intentionally weak response, maybe not, but any response in my mind against the world's hegemonic power was going to end this way. And instead, what they got today, China's already left, Russia's already left. Well, guess who condemned the attacks? Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, Morocco, Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, Yemen, and the Palestinian Authority. So you've literally lost everyone in the Middle East, everyone except I think Iraq hasn't condemned it yet. Maybe they have. And I just want to say, lastly, just how wrong everyone has been on President Trump. You know, they said tariffs, you know, the economy is going to end. Well, the economy's still rolling along. Oil's going to rise. Well, oil's falling. World War III is about to start. Well, instead, you've got the entire Middle East, it seems, set up in a posture where we may see more Middle East peace accords. So rather than World War III, we may get more peace. And rather than 34 felony counts, President Trump may end up with 34 Nobel Peace Prizes. That was for the leftists. You can clip this and make it go viral and go nuts.
One of my favorite tweets over the weekend was somebody who said, he just started World War III, and it's over.
Exactly.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.